Hello whiskey lovers, and welcome to another one of Mark's Whiskey Ramblings. I'm in Castellane in the Provence in southern France, and we just made the climb all the way up to the Chapelle de Notre-Dame-du-Roc, which is, well, it's quite high. It's about 800 meters high. And up here I would like to talk to you about a new whiskey that I've discovered. This is the Kaarterswhisky, which is a Strathenry from the InchDairnie distillery. Wait, what? Kaarterswhisky? What is that? Strathenry? Never heard of it. InchDairnie? What are you talking about? Don't panic. Not many people have heard of this, but the InchDairnie distillery is basically a very new distillery in the lowlands, founded in 2014. Their first release is planned for 2029, so still quite a ways off. But in the meantime, to get bread on the shelf, so to speak, they create a second and a third and a fourth and even a fifth type of whiskey. One of them is this one, the Strathenry single malt. And Strathenry is basically a blender's malt. So they create this not to release it themselves, but to have it for blenders. Now, this is a Strathenry from 2016. It's a single cask. So this is only 5 years old, which basically means it's one of the very first Strathenrys that was produced at the InchDairnie distillery. And this Kaarterswhisky is basically a bit of tongue-in-cheek humor by the Flemish bottler, which is MEUG. MEUG is they call themselves a taste bureau. It's a bit tongue-in-cheek because Kaarterswhisky, basically, if you were to say this in Flemish, that would be kaarterswhisky, which basically means card player's whiskey. That is why, and that's a bit of a funny gimmick, the bottle comes with a deck of cards. But hey, that's the MEUG's Kaarterswhisky, so it's really got nothing to do with a person named Carter or anything like that. Nevertheless, quite a lovely gimmick, a beautiful label, but what's most important, of course, is what's inside, and that is this 5 years old lowland single malt Strathenry, copper colored, beautiful, 56.5% ABV, and only 102 bottles were available. Let's find out this new lowland distillery, this new lowland single malt, if this is any good on the nose. Beautiful nose, liquid candy. In fact, I get caramella mocatin, which is those typical chocolatey, caramelly coffee bonbons that we know in Flanders. I get some seminola pudding, raisins and nougat, hazelnuts in there, and applesauce. Quite lovely, in fact, on the palate. It's firm, very spicy at first. Get some apple pie with cinnamon, some sweet coffee in there as well, hazelnuts again, candied apricots. It's like Snickers and Twix put together, which is quite lovely, in fact, and some apple fritters on top. Very tasty indeed, and I can understand why this would be a very good component in a blend indeed. On the finish then. Pleasantly wrong. It remains very spicy, and it makes me long for another sip, which is always a good sign. Wow, hey, this was a great selection by the Flemish Taste Bureau MEUG. But of course you can understand they were 79 euros a bottle, so they sold out in a flash. There were only 102 after all. But I'm very happy that I got me 3 bottles of this, because this is, well, it's a gem. So at 79 euros, this was a no-brainer. And that's all for this whiskey rambling from Castellane, from the Chapelle de Notre-Dame-du-Roc, all the way on top of the hill, which was quite a steep climb. But at the end of the climb, there was this beautiful liquid reward. And that's all for this whiskey rambling. And I hope to see you at one of Mark's whiskey ramblings real soon. And until then, may the malt be with you. Bye-bye.